Southark Spotlight is brought to you by Maxwell Hardwood Flooring. Maxwell Hardwood Flooring, located in Monticello, has been producing quality, solid, and engineered hardwood flooring for over 28 years. The company and sister companies, Ouachita Hardwood and Townsend Inc. in Warren, are proud to be providing American-made flooring to distributors and retailers from coast to coast while serving our local communities right here at home. Maxwell Hardwood Flooring, your best start for a great finish.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the month of August Southark Spotlight, put on by Maxwell Hardwood Flooring, sponsored by Maxwell, and of course produced by SalineRiverChronicle.com. It's my pleasure to welcome our Superintendent of the Warren School District today, Mr. Bryan Cornish. We've known him for a long time, and we want to talk a little bit about the Warren School District. Bryan, first of all, welcome again.
Thank you.
Of course, everybody can see we're wearing our masks today. We decided we'd do it with our mask on. Again, we're trying to encourage everybody to be very cautious with the COVID. Still having issues with that throughout the country, and that certainly includes Arkansas and South Arkansas. So we're just trying to be very careful with our contact with each other, and continue to urge y'all to participate as well when you're out among the public. Bryan, you're a native of Warren. You grew up here. You played for the Lumberjacks, went up to the University of Arkansas, played for the Razorbacks, and then you came back here and you taught and coached. Is that correct?
That is correct. I taught social studies at Warren Middle School and started off coaching in junior high.
Okay. And then you went on to be the high school principal.
Actually, I was became the assistant principal for 4 years, and then became the high school principal and was in that role for 2 years.
And then hired as superintendent.
I was fortunate enough to be hired as a superintendent here at the Warren School District.
And how long have you been the superintendent?
I'm starting my 5th year. I'm going on my 5th year now. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but looking back, we started this journey, and it's been a whirlwind since we started, but it's been fulfilling and fun to represent this community and be the leader of the Warren School District.
Well, we take a lot of pride in our school district here. Our community does, and of course this school district's been around for a long time, and I believe is one of the better school districts as far as providing a good education for the children, and of course all the extracurricular activities that are very important. We'll talk about all that a little bit. Our main purpose here is to make sure our viewers understand, the people here, especially in the immediate area, Warren School District and surrounding area, that they really understand what we have in the Warren School District. It is a public school district, paid for by the taxpayers of this district and of course the state of Arkansas. About how many students roughly do we have right now?
We are currently around 1,490 students. The demographics in the Warren School District is made up of roughly 38% Caucasian, 34% African American, and 28% Hispanic.
So it's in relative terms, it's about a third, and a third. Not quite exactly,
yes,
but in that range. So it's a very diverse district as far as the makeup of the Warren School District. And of course, those numbers that you just gave us are kindergarten through the 12th grade.
Yes, sir, kindergarten through 12th grade.
Okay, so, and of course, we're a class 4 school as far as classification within the Arkansas Activities Association for playing ball and extracurricular activities are concerned.
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. You've got a school board that's really your boss. 7 members of that school board that meets every month. Sometime more than once a month.
Second Monday of each month.
At least on a regular basis each month, and they're the ones who set the policy for.
That is correct.
And the budget for, and so forth. And then your job basically is to, obviously to advise them, but also to execute whatever they have approved.
That is correct, yes.
Now, having said that, I think it's important for everybody to understand that a public school in Arkansas is still technically under the control of the state of Arkansas.
That is correct, yes.
The school board has to operate under the laws and regulations of the state legislature and the Constitution of Arkansas as it's set out for public education. So the school board doesn't have control over everything, but they have control over a lot.
Yes, that is correct.
Within the confines of hiring teachers and administrators,
That is right, yes.
setting the budget within certain perimeters and that type of thing.
Yes, that is correct.
All right. Let's talk about schools just started. You off to a good start?
We are. We're off to a really good start. It was pleasant to see the big traffic jam out on, I guess that's Martin Street.
Yes.
The traffic was actually backed up to day and night, something we haven't seen in a while. And I knew as I rounded the curve there day and night, and there it was, it kind of put a smile on my face. And to see the amount of students and the amount of parents that are bringing their kids back to school, and to know that hopefully getting back to somewhat of a normal school year. And with that being said, we did require the wearing of masks indoors when we can't social distance. So far, everyone has embraced that. It's been positive. We have had some positive cases already this school year. Nothing major, no more than what we dealt with last year. We've had to quarantine students this school year, but we feel really confident in what we're doing in the schools to make sure that there's no major spread. And so we'll continue to use our protocol that we had in place last year, and throughout the school year, the previous school year, we know of maybe 3 to 4 incidents where there was possibly an actual spread in the school building between students. And for 178 days of instruction, well, I guess I wouldn't say quite 178 because we were off for a couple virtual days, snow and boil order. So around 62 days of instruction with that many students on campus, I felt like we did a really good job of preventing the spread within the buildings. And so we're going to continue that. We have cleaning crews that come in at night and spray. Our teachers have done a phenomenal job of wiping down behind the kids when the kids are not present in the classroom. We're constantly spraying. We're constantly reminding to keep your mask on and to maintain the physical distancing that we can. One thing that's kind of changed this year is when we're outside, we're letting them take their mask off when they're out and playing, which I think is really good. The hallways are a little more crowded, especially at high school when we're in the exchange of classes. So our teachers so far, we've done a really good job of herding them along and making sure they continue to wearing their mask, and then when they're in the classroom, keeping their mask up. And so far, as I said earlier, we have had a positive case already on campus, and it has, due to the people wearing their masks properly, we've not had any major we've not had to quarantine a whole lot of kids due to wearing the mask correctly.
Well, I would suggest all the more reason to wear the mask.
Yeah.
Just showing the need to do it. We know it doesn't solve all the problems, but it certainly helps.
That's exactly
From all scientific proof, it helps.
Well, the more the guidelines from the Department of Health basically state that if 4 people are sitting at a table and the masks are worn correctly, and one of those people at the table is positive, the other 3 do not have to quarantine if the masks were worn correctly. So that allows us to have more kids on campus, which allows us to, kids are getting educated every day, and we don't have this big loss of learning like we've had in the last couple of years with kids not being able to be on campus.
Well, I think it would be a fair assessment that the year 2020 kind of turned everything upside down for all of us in a lot of different ways. Education
Right.
certainly being one of them, but a lot of other things as well.
Yep.
Businesses and just the way we go about normal life. But y'all had some virtual teaching last year.
We did.
But now you're not going to do that this year.
We do not have a virtual option at this point for this school year. If we do have to let school out due to COVID or any other reason, we'll use our alternative methods of instruction days, and which we have 10 of those days that we can use. If we go over those allotted 10 days, then we'll be required to make those days up, or we'll have to petition with the State Department to do something different on those days.
Okay. Well, just trying to make sure everybody understands what you're doing, why you're doing it. Of course, the school board, our local school board itself, made the decision, allowable under the law after the courts ruled that masks could be mandated. And I think a great number of the school districts have done that. There may be a few exceptions, but most of them in Arkansas have done it. And I'm going to say this: you don't have to, being the superintendent of schools, but I think it made a good decision. So, and it's just the right thing to do to take every precaution to protect not just the students but your staff. And their families and everybody involved.
And we're going to revisit that monthly. We said in the meeting that we would revisit the mask policy. We'll revisit that monthly at each board meeting.
Okay. Well, let's do just a little bit of basic education work here, if we could, for those that are listening to us, especially those maybe that don't have any kids in the school district. Maybe some of our senior citizens and others that may not be quite as familiar with the educational system in Warren. We've still got the East Side Elementary School over on North Bradley Road. Now we're certainly talking about, looking forward to that being replaced, but we'll get to that in a minute. But what grades attend school there?
Kindergarten through third grade attend the East Side Elementary School. There's two buildings over there. One of them is a kindergarten first grade building, and the other one is second and third grade.
Okay. Then you come back over here to the main campus, and what schools do you have over there?
At Brunson, we have fourth and fifth grade, and then there's a gym in between that separates Brunson and Warren Middle School, and Warren Middle School houses sixth grade, seventh grade, and eighth grade. Now also we have the ABC school that's down the road, and we currently have around 115 ABC children in that grade.
And that's kind of a preschool type program is what that is.
Yes. So then we move on down, and we have the high school, which does grades 9 through 12. And then we also have CBEC, which across the road, which is our vocational center that services not only Warren but other surrounding schools as well. And so that makes up the school district.
Well, let's get right into some of our future plans.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people probably are familiar with a good bit of this, but just to make sure they kind of know where we are. We did have an election some time back, and to approve some funding, bond funding, to be able to basically build a new elementary, kindergarten through third.
Correct.
For the new elementary school, because we all still call it East Side, but that will be new facility. We will be built on the main campus where all the other schools are now.
That is correct. Yes.
It'll be just for everybody's information, be west of the football stadium.
That's right.
and the indoor practice facility. So that we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a very modern, state-of-the-art facility. I know it's going to have storm protection, that type of thing for the kids. And then also part of that project is a new arena or basketball facility, and be used for a number of different things, but certainly basketball. And again, a more modern, state-of-the-art type facility to replace our quite old current gym over there on Seminary Street. Kind of tell us where we are with that right now, Mr. Superintendent.
All right, I sure will. We started that project a couple years ago when we applied for partnership and funding through the state. We found out that we were approved for $6.9 million. So at that point, we decided that we could move forward, and we knew we had to generate additional funds. So at that, we decided that we would asked the patrons of voters of Warren for a 5 mil increase, and that was the voters agreed to that, and
by a pretty strong margin.
By a pretty strong margin, and we greatly appreciate that. That just goes to show the support that this community has for the school district, and we're greatly appreciative for those voters that turned out and voted for that. So between the 6.9 million and refinancing the bonds, which the voters approved, and the 5 mil increase, which the voters approved, we were generating around $18.5 million. We had to pay off an existing debt, so that gives us $14.1 million for construction fund. And like I said, with the 6.9 million, that puts us around the 21 million mark. We had, at that time, we decided that we would use a construction manager to come in to do the projects. We interviewed 3 different construction managers. We interviewed Navholtz Construction, Ideal Construction, and Clark Construction companies. Each construction company, as they came in and did their presentation, they were all within 18 million to $19 million in both facilities at this time. Remind you, this was October of last year. So we chose to go with, based off of, I did a lot of digging and research on each company, and we chose to use Clark Construction as our construction manager for both projects. So we decided at that point to move even further, and the millage got approved in February. So I went to Clark and I said, okay, we're ready to bid this out. So they start the bidding process, the plans get submitted to the state approves it, we send the bids out, we get the hard bids in July of the 29th, last month, and lo and behold, the project that started out at around 18 to 19 million is now $28.8 million.
And that's not because of changes in the plans. I want to make sure everybody understands that. I don't think I have to tell too many people out there that the cost, especially of construction materials,
yes,
as to say the least, skyrocketed. And after the COVID issue and everything, and a lot of different factors. And so that's what's caused some problems there.
That drove the price up extremely high. When we're asking a contractor, a subcontractor, to give us a price on steel that he may not use until February or March, he has no idea what that price will be at that time. So he's providing himself plenty of cushion in that bid, and all of them were doing that. So it is, like I said, we were well over where we thought we were going to be at that time.
Okay, so you hired Clark Construction. They are in effect working as a general contractor, and then they basically bid out all the work to what we would call subcontractors. Correct. And then they try to manage all of it and make sure it of course gets done properly and all that type of thing. So kind of where are you right now? I know the board's talked 2 or 3 times, had the construction company back in. Looking at all
We're looking at all options right now. One thing we're dedicated to doing is we're going to build the facilities, and we're going to build those just like we told those patrons of the community of Warren that it's going to look like. And we're dedicated.
You're not cutting or cutting back
unless something major happens. Right. We are anticipating building the facilities just as we presented them to the public. And we're exhausting all avenues right now of trying to find additional funding, and just looking within our budget as well of where we can come up with additional funds to help offset the cost. So we'll know more hopefully in the next few days where we stand exactly as far as financially with the projects, and when we can move forward with pushing some dirt and getting started.
Okay. Well, I know the community's been very excited about it, and I'm sure your East Side staff's very excited about it. Getting them, I can say, I think I started the 3rd grade over there East Side. It just, of course, those 2 buildings, the current East Side. You too young to know all this, but the southernmost building was built first, probably in the late 50s of 1956. So it was already there. Then they built the north building, and at that time I was in the 3rd grade. I remember it vividly when they finished that building, and during the school year, we actually relocated over there. So that gives you any idea. That'd been about 1963.
One building has 1956, and the other is 1962.
Yeah,
so
when they got it done. So that gives people a little bit of perspective about how long those buildings have been there.
Yeah.
And not only that, by putting it over there, you're going to have your entire school, K through 12, basically on one campus.
That is right.
I mean, it'd be separated out from each other some, but they're all in one location, which probably is going to help you with your bus cost and things like that as well.
It'll help there. The one thing that we're constantly working toward is we know we're going to have an additional 450 kids and additional probably 65 staff members there. We got traffic.
Sure.
So we're constantly battling, trying to figure out what's going to be the smoothest transition. One thing we're confident that we are going to do is reroute that traffic there, where we're going in now by ABC, and that's the one way. Once the building
west to east.
Once the facilities are built, we're going to enter on the one way that's coming out on Martin. That'll be the new entrance. Okay. Going behind Brunson and middle school, as we know it now, we'll start going in that way, and the elementary school will be there on your left.
Well, I know your school board has talked at length about the traffic situation, trying to do everything they can to make sure, along with your architect, that everything's designed to make it as smooth as possibly can be done.
Yes.
But a lot of work's going into all this, and I want to repeat what you said just a few minutes ago. I know I've heard this from your school board, even in meetings. We're going to do everything within our power to provide exactly what the people voted that they wanted done.
That's exactly right. We don't want to, we don't want to cut corners. We want to build it just as we presented it to the taxpayers in Warren School District.
Well, I think you'll have as fine a facilities as there are in anywhere in Arkansas, for especially a community our size and school district our size, and it's going to be something to be proud of. It's also going to be functional and usable.
Yes, it will be. It'll be the arena will hold 1,800. We can put chairs on the floor and possibly get it up to 2,500, which can be used for graduation. Right now we graduate on the football field, which can be hot sometimes, and you have to worry about the rain, and so we'll be able to move in there. The facility also offers some additional dressing room spaces for some sports that currently we don't have enough room for, and so we'll have a lot of additional locker room space for some of our other sports.
Well, that's all going to be beneficial to the district, to the students, certainly for your staff as well, and the general public.
Yes.
And the arena, how many fans is that facility going to hold once it's built?
We'll be at 1,800 capacity inside. That's a rough number there. There's and like I said, we'll have the capability, if we want to put additional chairs on the floor to offer. If we want to do something, we could get it up to possibly 2,500 people in that arena.
Well, that's a good size facility.
We'll be able to host a regional,
whatever it is you want to do.
We'll be able to host a regional basketball tournament or a state basketball tournament if we can get that.
Well, I would just make this comment. Once you get that done, and I think you have one of the finer football facilities in the state, and baseball facilities are excellent. So this bring basketball up to that level, and ought to be something to be proud of, and it is important to be able to bring these other events, these tournaments and so forth, into Warren. I think that's going to be good for the community economically, not to mention the athletically and so forth. So I think it's some good planning has gone into all this, and a lot of thoughts going into it over the years, over a several year period.
Yeah, this has been on our radar for 3 years at least of building facilities for the elementary school and the arena.
Okay. So, well, let's talk about one of our favorite subjects, one of mine at least. Let's talk a little bit about football. I know you're not the football coach or the athletic director, but it is about that time of year.
It is.
We have as we record this, it's Tuesday, the 24th of August when we're recording this. We got a scrimmage tonight against McGee here at 6:30.
At 6:30, yes.
Okay, what's going to be the protocols for attending? Are you any requirements for masks or anything like that?
There'll be no requirements for masks. I want to remind everyone that this is a Arkansas Activities Association benefit game, so only AAA passes will be accepted as you enter the gate. Just be cautious and respectful of one another's space as you come through, but masks will not be required as it's an outdoor event. So,
and nobody's going to be thrown out of the wear one either.
No, that's right. If someone wants to wear a mask, well, matter of fact, we'll have masks at the gate if someone chooses to wear a mask. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, save talking about the football team a little bit more to get a chance to talk to Coach Hembry a little bit later. Yeah. But I think we are expecting good things out of this football team this year.
I think so. I think he's got a bunch of kids back from last year, and he knows what to do with them. We've been blessed here in the community of Warren to have some talent over the years. Been also blessed with having a coach that knows what to do when he has the talent.
Right.
And I think we'll see that this year again. I think I know just by listening to him talk, he's extremely excited about this group. So we'll find out tonight just how a little bit more about our team. McGee, I think they're picked to win in the top 4, I think, in 3A.
Class 3A. They're always pretty good football.
And then, of course, when he gets, we'll do the scrimmage tonight. Then we'll get to play Whitehall, who's a 5A school, next week. And then we'll own the Stuttgart, who's ranked in some polls as high as 2. And then we leave Stuttgart and we'll go to Franklin Parish, which is Winsboro, Oklahoma. It's about a 2.5-hour, 3-hour trip from Warren. It's south of Bastrop. I'm not sure what classification they are, but within the first 3 weeks, we'll figure out what kind of football team we have, I think.
Is this, to your knowledge, first time Warren football team's ever gone out of state to play a regular season game? I was thinking about that the other day. I'm not aware of it in my lifetime. It could have happened.
I'm not aware of it either. I think this is the first that I can remember that we've actually gone out of state and played.
Well, I know a number of the schools around Arkansas do that from time to time. Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas, maybe even Tennessee a time or two. So that'll be an interesting experience for us to cover all that. With what little time we got left here, Mr. Superintendent, I want to talk about what school's really all about, and that's academics. And I know y'all stress that. We get all excited about the football team and all our athletic teams, and rightfully so. That's a big part of the education process.
That's correct. Yes.
Big supporter of athletics. I think they teach.
Yeah.
I think most coaches will tell you that they consider themselves educators. The good ones will tell you that for sure. And I put ours in that category because it's a lot of teaching, and it goes well beyond just the athletic event that they're taking part in. But we also stress academics. We want our kids to learn.
That's exactly right. From
kindergarten or preschool all the way through the 12th grade. Do you feel like you got a good staff at all levels? I'm talking about teachers now.
Yes, we are. Unfortunately, we have a high turnover in Warren every year, and so we're going out and we're having to hire new staff. And some buildings, it's transitions from year to year as far as your turnover. But we currently have, we were not able to hire a Spanish teacher for high school this year. We're using a virtual setting in high school. We've had could not hire, we weren't able to hire a dean of students at high school. But everywhere else we're fully staffed and feel confident that our teachers understand what they're doing. And the buildings I've been in this year, and they're working extremely hard with the students. Again, we've got a lot of students. This is their first time back on campus since March 13th of 2019. This second grade group that is in school this year, they've not had a normal school year since they've been in school. And so, but we feel confident that our staff is is well prepared. And as a district, our job is to provide the resources that they need, that we see as needed for them to be prepared. So we're very confident that we provide the resources and that our staff understands what they're to teach. And you know, the thing is it's not all about teaching. It's what are you going to do when they don't learn it? You know, how are you going to react as a teacher then when you're teaching a class full of kids and you know there's some in there that aren't getting it? That's, you know, what are we going to do at that point? And we also have you know, the social emotional support that we provide our students in the district. You know, we provide that also as well for all of our staff and our students.
Brian, a lot of these, we're blessed in Warren. Many of our students, of course, come from good, solid homes where they get good support and you know, backing and what have you. But there's certainly a percentage that do not. That's a difficult thing, and the school district has to deal with that.
We have to. I spend a lot of time talking to first-year teachers, and just every year I remind our staff about, and I didn't realize this till I got in the education field, that of the amount of students in our district that were that didn't have things, you know, that didn't have any food at their house.
Right.
And I remind our staff constantly that as a kid growing up, the majority of us, you might come in the afternoon and you might pull the cabinet door open or the refrigerator door open and you may say, hey, there's nothing to eat. Well, in reality, there's something to eat in there. It may not be what you want. We have kids in our district that are pulling those doors open and there's nothing to eat. And, you know, that's just a challenge that we have to face. And that's what we do. That's why we're in the business. That's why I get up every day and come to work. That's why our teachers get up and come to work every day, because it's the challenge. If that's the passion that we have, is educating all kids, not just some, but we, as a public school, we educate every child that walks in that door. And that's the driving force behind the reason I go to work every day. And I hope the driving force is the reason our staff goes to work every day.
You want to leave those kids better than when they showed up and have a chance to go out and take care of themselves.
That's exactly right. To make as many productive citizens as we possibly can.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming in and talking to us. I think we're about out of time, but Warren School District is important entity in this community, and of course the district covers more than just the city of Warren. It's got a little bit more of the county as well, but it's one of our key assets, and one of the more important parts of our community is providing a good education to those young people from preschool all the way through the 12th grade.
Yes, and I'm blessed to be part of it. There's a great community that supports our school district. We've got an unbelievable school board that supports us. And so I'm just proud to be here and blessed to be part of this team.
Well, again, appreciate you coming in and talking to us, and let's go Lumberjacks.
Go Jacks. Thank you.